Hello folks, welcome back in. Today we're going to rescape the BiOrb Air 60. I set this up about 4 years ago. I actually went back and watched the video where I tried to sort of hem in a whole bunch of drone footage and spelled BiOrb wrong in the title. Ironically, a key device that I use with this is the Aqua Bear or something like that. It is it's an RO, desktop RO water machine. I also misspelled the title for that. So it's kind of a banner year for Pec Tech marketing. Also, when I set this up, I did it outdoors, and it was a disaster. It fogged up. It was a pain in the ass. So we're gonna start again. First, I want you to take a look at this after 4 years. So I don't do a lot of maintenance, and by that I mean I just add water to the mister. It's been pretty solid for a long time. I think I went on vacation and I didn't let enough. I didn't notice that it was getting kind of dry in here when I left, and when I came back, I think I killed off a lot of the plants. Now a lot of stuff is kind of gone and come back and gone and come back. In fact, not everything in here is dead, as you'll see. The dragon tongue has done really well. And there's some sort of fern that's in there that seems to be hanging on. I'm doing good. I had some ivy, or I don't know if it was ivy, some sort of vine in there. It did amazing for a long, long time. It would just kind of spin all around this thing. But yeah, it's been 4 years. I'm not sure if the dairy cows are still in here. I saw them for a number of years, like every now and then, skittering around. So I'm going to pull this apart and kind of see what state it's in, clean it up, and rescape it today. So join me for this. Here we go. All right, so one last look at the old one. I'm going to take it and clean it out, and then we'll see what state it's in. I'm telling you, the original plan was to dump this. But seeing the isopods in there made me not want to attempt to, collect them all. What I'll probably do is just add some more. But they're still going after 4 years. Can't just dump them out. So, they get a brand new home. You should definitely give yourself permission to play in the dirt once in a while. It's kind of cathartic. Having catharsis happening. I realized that there was some sand in this mixture, so I tossed the water on the side to try to knock as much down as possible. And I'm just trying to clean up the glass around the margins, but I'm being careful, knowing full well that I'm probably scratching it up. Sand is a really bad idea. You should use the cocoa fiber that came with this. That's probably a great solution for the substrate. The stuff I did does work, and it continues to work, but it's got its own little problems that I didn't really think about when I started out, because at that point I was used to the glass terrariums, which are a little bit more robust in terms of taking scrapes. Alright, so I've got a little tub of all the plants that I picked from Lowe's. Most of them said perfect for terrariums, and I love easy mode plants like that. I don't have a plan per se. I'm going to start off with this Pan Am Pita. Really cool, interesting texture. I'm going to put these dark ones towards the back. See how much of this I can pull off. These are wet too. This is going to be a mess. Let's Oh, it'll be a mess. It's funny, I considered doing some hardscape and stuff too, but it really didn't show up all that much after the plants really started to grow. So it's like, if you're successful, you won't even see that hardscape unless it's just really towering above everything else. So I think I'm going to just try to say it with plants. I've got a lot of rocks and other things I could put in here too, but... And then I'm gonna, I think I'll work with something with a similar leaf texture. This is flame violet. I got a little one. I'll just stick right here on the margin. It's funny, I'm never sure how big any of these plants get. I looked up the size for a few of these. I noticed all the ones that said good for terrariums tended to be smaller growth. So let's hope that's the case. All right, these are seem like they're going to be real low to the ground. I don't know, of course, 'cause I don't know anything about terrestrial plants. Dark Mystery Pila. Mysterious. This has a really unique texture compared to everything else. I'm gonna put this is gonna be kind of my foreground plant all the way around here. There's another one there. There's some isopods running for it. Oh, what's happening? The whole world changed. All right, I'm gonna continue putting this around the middle. I think right in the middle we'll put our colorful ones. I've got two really colorful things to put in here. All right, now we have Frankie Fitani, I don't know what that is. Frankie Fitania. Sticking it right in the middle. Right in the middle of everybody. Right, the next plant is the red vine fatida, whatever. Another version of that plant, it looks like. I'm gonna stick it sort of dead in the middle, so it can be a colorful alternative leaf shape and style from the other ones. Give a little bit of dimension too, since this tends to stick up, it seems. See, it's looking a little bit empty over here. I'm going to move some of these plants over a little bit and just make sure I left room for everything to grow a little bit. It's real tempting to kind of fill it all in, but if you don't leave it any room to grow, it'll look pretty tragic after a short period of time. That'll be our starting point. All right, I'm going to throw some water in here and get this going, get that lid back on. All right, it's starting to get late. Here is the mister. I think in the setup before I mentioned that I'd never seen it come on its own. Over the years, I definitely did. It's funny, as soon as the heat comes on, it gets real dry in the house. This thing will run. In fact, it'll run itself empty if you're not careful. So you have to watch it. It especially does that too if the water level's too low. There's a little tiny hose, which I've actually moved towards the front. I used to keep it towards the back. I've got it a little bit towards the front now so I can see it. And it's actually a water level indicator. And a way to drain it, I guess, if you needed to drain the bottom. Still got dirt everywhere. I finally cleaned up the floor. But this looks pretty good. It does kind of get a little slime coat over the top of it, and sometimes so I've wiped it out real good, and we'll get that going in a second. The lid a quick wipe out. All the water that you've seen me use has come out of our RO machine. So here's the lid after 4 years of use. A little bit of a glare there, I'm sorry, but it's in perfectly good shape. All the LEDs are still working. The fan looks good. It's probably a little dusty in there. Probably ought to hit this. It does come off. This is like the whole top of it, and it's got a little space here. We kind of slide it off. Gives you a lot more room for getting down inside the hole there. So I took this off. Plus you have to deal with this little door flapping open. All right, I dusted off the lid and stuff. I would like this to be the front. So I'm gonna sort of feel this out here. See if we can make this happen the way I'd like it to happen. Maybe not. Doesn't anything? Oh, okay. So we're in place. Where does it lock? Does it lock this way or this way? Oh, it's letting me lock that way. Great. The front is still the front. Maybe a minor adjustment. All right. We can just add the mister back in. This just plugs into this little outlet right here. I'll put some water in here before I add I'll put the lid, just so I don't forget where it is. It's clear, and I lose it. Okay, and then we got the lid. So all that's left is to plug in the cord. There's a little tiny arrow here, or little diagrams that indicate, see these gears. There's one button on this hidden right here that'll activate the mister, but you can do combinations of things with this and change the light schedule and all kinds of other stuff. And if you kind of feel around under here, you'll feel where that plug goes, which I think is right here. This icon right there, you'll see where it will plug in. And then I think I can hold this for 30 seconds. Maybe it'll come on. Yeah, there we go. Now if I had water in here, it'd be misting. Let's get some of them. Let's get some. It's funny, looking at it now, I sort of wish it had more of a focal point. I'm going to add some hardscape. Last minute hardscape edition, now that the lights are on and I can really see in there. All right. It's not that all this stuff isn't super interesting, but I think it would be also cool to have this guy in the mix. And I'm going to just work him in right here. Make sure I'm not squishing my plants too bad. I tell you, it's a lot easier to kind of work these in afterwards than it is to work around them. Well, plants another wiggle around. It's kind of leaning against it enough to kind of keep it stable, but it ought to work out just fine. Toby even agrees it's great. We're going to fill up that misting container here in a second, but I think first I'd like to go ahead and really saturate it. Saturate the soil in here. Just add a whole tub of that, let it soak in. Tidy up the plants and not everywhere with water. Hopefully all this other stuff will kind of grow towards the light, spread out. Be interesting to see. I think I'm going to go out and get some fresh springtails and make sure the springtail population is up in here. Maybe even some more dairy cows and kind of up their population a little bit. I was surprised to see them. I never really see these isopods. I guess they had a lot of spaces to hide before. Maybe I'll see them a little bit more often with some open spaces like it is now. But hopefully these will grow up, look really interesting soon. A lot of colors and textures in here. I'm excited to see how this grows out. Looks really, really cool in person. I'm not sure it's coming through on film, but it's a really neat orb, and I'm excited. All right, so I've added springtails, and I've got some isopods on the way. I added this piece of wood to kind of help add some interest, but I couldn't help myself, and I've printed out another little feature. I think I'm going to put it not sure where to put it though. I want it to be kind of stand away from that, or maybe come right in the middle. Yeah. I'll add it right here in the middle. And I've just 3D printed that and painted on it a little bit. But it's kind of a fun little whimsical way to add some vertical interest to this while all this stuff grows in. In all likelihood, it won't last very long. Like, I'm not sure. I didn't print this out in PETG or anything that'd be waterproof, so it'll be interesting to see what regular PLA does over time in here. It is made out of a filament that's supposedly made of real wood, so contains some real wood. And there was a bunch of different options for printing these little tree houses. I actually started off with some balsa wood versions, and I wanted to include those, but I knew that they would for sure degrade over time. And this one, well, if it does degrade, I can always print another one where the other ones were laser cut. And I wasn't sure I would be able to replace them, plus they're quite expensive. If you'd love to see me build one of those, I have a kit that I haven't assembled yet, and I'd be happy to show you how they look. And now all I have to do is wait for some isopods. My scape is done. It's been about a week or so since I initially set this up. It's been growing in pretty good. All the plants haven't died, so that's good news. Now it's just kind of a matter of how they're going to grow and what they look like as they get a little bit bigger. I'll be back in a few weeks with my all-enclosure update, and I'll give you an update on how this is doing. And we'll get further updates. Let me know if you found this video and you want to know how it's doing. Shoot me a message. Say, I'm curious about this. Maybe I'll make another video or make a post or something about it, okay? You can also check me out on Instagram. There are links down in the description and on my page. I share updates on these projects a lot more frequently on there, so be sure to catch it if you want to know more. Until next time, follow your bliss, keep a clean terrarium, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.